Hello, everyone. It is Turntable Tuesday with this guy here, Thom. Ever since I started using the tripod, hands-free. It's just incredible. It's a revelation, if not a revolution. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite bands ever in the world. You know, it's funny. There was a girl that I dated right after high school, and she owns a bar in the Rochester area. And a friend of mine was a frequenter of the bar, and I said, well, if you see her, see if she remembers me. And the only thing she remembered about me was, well, two things. First was that I was incredibly good looking. That hasn't changed. And then the other question she asked was that if I was still into Yes. And the answer was, of course, yes. Yes, I'm into Yes. My youngest son is Trevor Rabin, my youngest son is named after Trevor Rabin. But we're not going to talk about Trevor Rabin today. If we're going to talk about a Yes album, it should be the Yes album. Is there even another Yes album? Yeah, there's a lot of Yes albums. Anyhow, the Yes album, which is one of my dog's favorites, which is why they're barking in the background, but maybe you can hear them, maybe you can't. This was the band's breakthrough record. I mean, it's their third record. As Yes did, they decided to have a lineup change, and they had replaced guitarist Peter Banks with a guy by the name of Steve Howe. Now, Howe becomes an incredibly important part of Yes. He's actually the only long-term member that's still in the band. That's actually the only guy on this album that still plays with Yes. You've got Chris Squire, who has since passed away. Tony Kaye, who played with the 90125 lineup, who is gone after this album as well. John Anderson, who's no longer with Yes as well. But, of course, the quintessential Yes vocalist. And, in fact, this album, John Anderson, still spelled his name John instead of Jon, as we all know. Now, the cover, you'll see if you look closely, this is Tony Kaye's foot. He has a cast on it, and you're probably asking yourself, why does Tony Kaye have a cast on his foot? Well, long story short, the band had actually gotten into a car accident not long before this photo shoot, which may also explain the completely miserable looks on all their faces like, do we have to shoot another album cover? Anyhow, so a couple other things like that. Tony Kaye, this winds up being one of his last albums that he performs with Yes, because one of the sticking points was that A, he didn't get along with Steve Howe, and B, he didn't like to use synthesizers. So he winds up being gone by the next album. Rick Wakeman takes over, and what else do we got on here? I don't know. There's not much. As I said, this album actually came out February 19th, 1971, so if you've been paying attention to this whole 50th year of the greatest year in rock, you'll know that Yes is listed as one of those bands that came out with some great albums in 1971. This album, I mean, think about it. It's got The Clap. It's got Your Move, I've Seen All Good People. Yours Is No Disgrace is playing in the background, and Starship Trooper, a lot of stuff that they still play in concert to this day. Now, as if that wasn't crazy enough, later that year, they come out with another album. Now, I got to be careful with this one because it's fragile. We'll talk about that one later in the year when we get nearer to that anniversary. But anyhow, the Yes album today on Turntable Tuesday with Thom. I appreciate you tuning in. And I'll see you next Tuesday.